With the Xbox 360 seeing its best days behind it, now's a better time than ever to look at some overlooked titles for the system. With hundreds of games released for the 360, there's a good chance some decent ones passed under your radar. So if you're getting bored of your Xbox One, why not take a look at some of my favourite 360 hidden gems? One of my favourite racing games for the 360, Flatout Ultimate Carnage, is a revamped version of Flatout 2 which was released back in 2007. Think a mixture of Burnout and Destruction Derby and you're in the right area. The destruction in this game is fantastic, races are crazy with lots of destructible environments and great car damage too. What makes the Flatout series unique is certain crashes send your driver flying out the windscreen ragdoll style. Obviously no one wears a seatbelt in this game. Taking this humorous mechanic, there's stunt minigames in which you shoot your driver at certain targets, like a darts board or bowling pins. So as well as races and stunt minigames, there's also destruction derbies too. Another unique point to the game is that your AI competitors aren't just mindless drones, each one has their own style of driving. The game was made by Bugbear Entertainment, who only focus on racing games. They're currently working on next car game, so check that one out on Steam. On the surface, Fracture looks like your standard run-of-the-mill futuristic third-person shooter. But delve in and you'll find a very enjoyable game with unique gameplay elements. The player can deform the terrain with his weapons. You'll be able to raise or lower the ground, which will help you create cover, jump to high areas, or solve environmental puzzles. In terms of story, in the year 2161, USA has been split into two sides by rising sea levels caused by global warming. As both sides are at war with each other, you're sent to capture an opposing commander. Basic stuff, but it's the gameplay that keeps you playing. Fracture is all about destruction and deformation. You'll be finding yourself blowing up buildings and cliffsides, causing them to fall on your enemies. The weapons you use throughout the game are varied and unique. One of my favourites is the lodestone, which shoots a vortex which will pull enemies and objects towards it. If you're a fan of theme park management games like Roller Coaster Tycoon, then you'll enjoy Thrillville Off the Rails. Overlook its slightly childish looks and you'll find a fun park management game with tons of customization and minigames. Your ultimate task is to manage 5 different amusement parks under the Thrillville name, each with its own areas and themes. Your character walks around each park and it's at this ground level you interact with your rides, stalls and guests. There's a lot of guest interaction too. You can find out ways to improve your park by talking to them. You can also challenge them to minigames or just bore them with mindless chatter. Building roller coasters is easy and fun, and you can also ride the roller coasters after building them. There are over 40 minigames which you'll need to play to train your staff or challenge guests. Most of them are really fun, and you can play them with a friend via multiplayer. Timeshift is a first-person shooter that aimed to evolve the time manipulation mechanic found in certain video games. While you'll be familiar with games like Fear, where you slow down time to shoot everybody in a room, Timeshift allows you to pause and rewind time too. This mechanic is incorporated into the combat and environmental puzzles too. You'll be rewinding time to avoid grenades, slowing time to get the drop on enemies, and pausing time to walk on water and through fire. You can pick this game up for about £2 at the moment, which is more than worth your money if you're looking for a slightly different first-person shooter experience. The graphics haven't aged too badly, and the single player campaign will keep you entertained for a decent amount of time. If you're familiar with John Woo, then you'll find his first forte into games perfectly captures the style of his films. Stranglehold serves as a sequel to Hard Boiled, as you reprise the role of Inspector Tequila. As Tequila, you travel through many locations throughout Hong Kong, pumping bullets through tons of enemies. Much like Max Payne, Tequila can dive and shoot enemies in slow motion. This uses up your Tequila time bar just below the health bar, but you'll find yourself using it all the time for some stylish gunplay. Performing stylish kills earns you stars which fill your bomb gauge. There are 4 different Tequila bombs that you can use, such as health boost, invulnerability and precision aiming. A lot of the environment is interactive. This means you'll be running across rails and riding trolleys. You'll also find a lot of the environment can be destroyed, which looks great, but you have to be cautious as there is a good chance whatever you're using as cover can be destroyed too. Also, throughout the game you'll be encountering various standoffs which task you to shoot each enemy while avoiding their bullets, usually using interactive environments. Overall, Stranglehold can get a bit repetitive, but you'll be having too much mindless fun to notice. Well, that's 5 of my favourite hidden gems for the 360. Post a comment below with your favourites and I'll catch you in part 2 for another 5.